Welcome to class today. Welcome to Monday. I got to start off with some apologies because obviously Coach Joe made a big boo-boo on the quiz that many of you noticed. I have gone through. I am sorry I'm behind on grades because I had to go through and fix that. I had put them in the wrong category. Some of you noticed me. I got a lot of emails. Most of you noticed. Hopefully I fixed on time with a lot of your grades. I got to go through and manually grade them all now, most of them, for that. And I also change the parameters in the middle. And when I change the parameters, I only put on it one attempt. And I know I told some of you guys that you were going to get 2 attempts. I'm not going to give you a second attempt. I kind of made that decision. And the only reason is, guys, it's only worth 12 points. I mean, if you got a 9 out of 12, that's 3 points in the scheme of thing. If you're a good kid, then that comes down to like 89.4%. I'm not going to hold that against you guys, okay? So I apologize. I could admit when I did wrong. I had it wrong. And those of you that took it already and I gave you credit, you didn't get to see the awesome questions I had for the matching. One of them was Coach Joe, and you had to match it with something. And I am not a hinge joint. I am not a ball and socket joint. I am not a bone, and I am not an organ. If the answer was Coach Joe is the greatest. Okay, so when I go back and check those, hopefully you guys got that right. So I apologize, and hopefully you guys accept my apology. I want to say I'll never make that mistake again, but I'll try not to and everything. So that's with that. So I'm a little behind on grading, guys, but that's on my list to do first thing today. I make a list every day of things I got to get done. So I'm going to try to do that. And I've been trying to grade like 4th period or 3rd period first because I realize I always get 1st period done and they kind of get the wrath of being late. So I'm trying to do them first so you guys, it'll come down and I'll get you guys done. Okay, so accept my apology. I won't go on anymore. All right. So now, guys, this week's lesson, we're talking nutrition. I really think, guys, nutrition is probably the most important thing I could help you understand as it relates to your body, okay? So I used my old PowerPoint because I like my old PowerPoint. I did make a new shorter version. So if you had me before, I don't think there's anyone in this class that's had me before. There might be 1 or 2. Guys, it is the same PowerPoint, but you're going to learn something new based on it. So I'm going to go to it. And guys, I understand nowadays in your guys' generation, a lot of people become kind of really nutritioned out. I'm going to get on Zoom on my computer just so, because I like to see what you guys see too. So I know you're seeing the same thing and I don't get ahead on my lesson. You guys ever have teachers that they start teaching and it's like the screen doesn't come up and they're way ahead? I don't know. I feel like I do that sometimes. So I want to make sure it's coming up on my computer same time as your guys's. Okay. Myself. Okay. There we go. All right, Brooks. Come in. All right, so you look at we're on Monday. So guys, the first thing I want to show you guys is this week your activities are going to fill out a nutrition log. Okay, and I want to show you this first because I'm going to talk about this throughout the lesson. I want you to show you what you guys are going to be doing. Okay, so your nutrition log, and you got to start it right away. Okay, it's going to be done between today and not 10:15. That would be really bad. Between 3:15. Okay, any 5 consecutive days. I want you to do 5 consecutive days. If for some reason you miss a day, it's not the end of the world, but I want you to do it for 5 consecutive days, okay? And you'll upload it here. It is for a 20-point assignment because I feel like it's so valuable and I want you guys to kind of have that. And what you're going to fill out is this nutrition log. Now, let me show you what it looks like because I think it's important to understand. And I know, pay attention, guys. If your camera's not on, please turn it on now so you can pay attention to this. Here is your food diary log. This is your one you're going to fill out. Okay, it's on this page, and here's an example. Okay. So I'm going to pull up the food diary log. Okay. What the turn it in or my food diary log, Sarika? To turn it in? Oh, yeah. So I'll because I don't want you to turn it in until the 12th, but I will change that because it got to be 5 consecutive days. That's why to turn in. But you should be able to open up the food diary log right now, right here. These 2. Okay, does that make sense, Rika? Give me a thumbs up if it does. I don't see you right now, but give me. Okay, good, perfect, awesome. Okay, so if you look at my screen right now, which you can't see yet, see this is why I do this. this is what your food diary log looks like for the dates. Now you're going to have to update the new dates. So if you started today, you're going to come here and I'm going to put in 3/8. Oh, I got to enable it. You got to make sure you enable editing. Okay, I only have this on Excel. So if you don't have Excel, go on and make a sheet kind of similar to this when you do it. So I'm going to update this and I'm going to go 3/8/2021. Okay, and that's going to kind of update all of them in a row for those dates. Okay, so for example, for me today, for my first meal, what I had was I had oatmeal. And in my oatmeal, I also had a banana and I had 3 strawberries. Okay, yeah, Chase, right. You can upload the Excel into Google Drive too. That's what you're saying, right, Chase? Banana and I had strawberries. Now, okay, that's what I had in a nutshell. Okay, now, the number of servings is going to be very important, and you might have to look this up. So my number of servings for this is 1, and I do it in a cup. Okay, my number of banana was 1, and I had 3 strawberries in my thing. Okay, that's the number of servings I had. Okay, now this is a little tricky because this is going to be 1 cup. Okay, and then serving size is 1 and serving size was 3. Okay, and then I got to figure out the proteins, carbohydrates, and all that stuff in the calories. So like, for example, let's say my protein was 3 grams of protein. Okay, let's say my banana was 2 grams and my strawberries were 2 grams. My oatmeal was 15 grams here, whatever it is. And you can figure out this on a nutritional label, what I will go over. And then you'll have your calories in here. And you'll fill this out all by the nutritional label. I don't want you to adjust what you normally eat. What I want you to do is I want you to kind of just fill this out and get an idea of what your eating's like, just so you have an idea, okay? Every restaurant has nutrition labels, or you could generally look it up. If you need an app to look it up, under my resources, you will see MyFitnessPal app to be able to look it up, okay? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna look at all you guys. Does that kind of make sense for a start? Give me a thumbs up if it kind of makes sense. Okay, good. Because I want you guys, because I feel like this is the number one thing you can understand, like I said at the start, to reach your goals. All right, let's go into today's lesson now. It's crazy because I'm still like pumped up for my workout this morning. So like, I'm like, I can't match my energy I have going. So I'm like all over the place right now. All right. All right, so this PowerPoint, guys, this PowerPoint's always here for you guys to do. A lot of information. I took this PowerPoint from someone else, and I actually added my own kind of things to it to kind of make it better for all of us. So nutrition basics. Okay, the first thing is nutrients, okay? Nutrients is kind of everything we put in our body, okay? And nutrients are substances that the body needs to regulate body functions, repair body tissue, promote growth, obtain energy. Most nutrients come from the food we eat, okay? They come from the food we eat. They're just how we do. When we think of food simply as fuel, it is easy to forget that we are eating for other reasons too, okay? And when I say other reasons, like because we like it, but if we look at food as our fuel and we understand it as fuel, it's going to help us regulate what we eat. A common analogy, and I use this a lot with my wrestling team, my athletes, if you think your body is a performance race car, food is like fuel. Okay, the body card needs high quality food or fuel to keep it running the best. I often relate this to like what kind of car you have and what kind of fuel you put in your car. And many of you don't drive, or many of you maybe have never pumped gas before. But if you know based on what kind of car, you're going to put that kind of octane in your car, whether it's 87, 89, or 91. Race car have specific design thing they put in their car. However, there's a serious problem with this oversimplified analogy. Okay, it's way oversimplified as far as good food, because what good food is deals with our macros and getting vitamins and minerals and all that stuff. All right. Classes of nutrients. There are 2 classes of nutrients. There's carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and water. Okay, these do provide energy. These are where you get your energy from. And there's vitamins and minerals. These do not provide energy, but these help with the body in many other ways. The ones that do provide energy are called macronutrients, and the ones that help your body with other functions are called micronutrients. What is a calorie? We would talk about calories. We talk about that. Calorie, what it comes from the energy from food, it equals the amount of energy needed to raise a liter of water by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, and that equals a calorie. So when you talk about burning calories, okay, you burn 1 calorie by outputting enough energy to raise water by 1 degree Celsius. That's why you see a lot of people put on sweats because they think they're going to burn it faster because they're going to raise their body heat. That's what calories are. The chemical process by which the body breaks down food to release energy, calories, is called the metabolism. So how the body breaks down your food, okay, and puts in your body to release energy, that's your metabolism. People talk about fast metabolism, slow metabolism a lot. That's often dictated by how hard you work or how much your body functions. All right, am I boring you guys yet? You guys paying attention? I'm going to commonly check in because I'm not having you do a PowerPoint because I really want you paying attention to me today because I really think this lesson is so important. All right, energy content. Okay, calories equal energy. They equal to how much energy you have. So one thing we need to understand is how many calories per gram of our macronutrients we have. Okay, obviously water has 0, and there's a little trick question at the bottom here. But here's why fats get a bad kind of rep, because fats have 9 calories per gram. Proteins and carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. Okay, how many calories per gram are there in water, vitamins, minerals? There's 0. Okay, that's just. Okay, so nutrition highlights of our macronutrients. Carbohydrates primarily serve as a source of energy. They can be classified as complex or simple carbohydrates. Complex or simple carbohydrates. We want to stay more towards the complex carbohydrates. This is often why what happens is carbohydrates get a bad name for a couple reasons. One, people often eat a lot of simple carbohydrates that have a lot more sugar in them and not enough complex carbohydrates. The other reason they get a bad name is what happens if your carbohydrates are stored in your body, a lot of time they have nowhere to go and they turn into fat. So that's why people often will cut down on their carbohydrates, as we're going to learn next week with fad diets. Most of your high carbohydrate foods should also be high in fiber. Fiber is very important for your body, helps out with your digestion and stuff. 70% of your daily calories should come from carbohydrates. This is kind of a general rule, and also based on where you are with how much activity level you burn off, how your body's growing, or whatever you do. Which foods are rich in fiber? You can rock right here. These are the top high fiber foods. Okay, it's very important to get fiber in your body. It's also very important to watch out for marketing. You'll see a lot of times, and I'll talk about this a little bit when we get to shopping, you'll see a lot of times boxes will say high in fiber, because they try to sell you on it because someone told you need fiber, so you're going to buy it. There are many benefits from fiber. It prevents constipation, helps how you digest it, like I talked about. It lowers blood cholesterol. It helps you stay fuller longer and improves blood sugar levels in a lot of ways. A lot of benefits from fiber. All right, fats. Fats also serve as a source of energy. They help maintain body temperature and they protect nerves. And there's a lot of benefits from fats. Okay, a lot of benefits from fats. 15 to 35% of your calorie intake should be from your fats. There are many healthy fats. Okay, you'll see this more in the next slide. The number one thing I think of when I think of healthy fats is I think of avocados or guacamole. I love that word, guacamole. Okay, as far as healthy fats. And as you can see here, there's different kinds of fats. And this is where the bad name, and it's very important to understand. There's unsaturated, which are most healthy, and then saturated and transsaturated aren't very good for you. Unsaturated is generally, again, they come from animal products. Okay, so they're okay. And trans fats, the best way I like to talk about trans fats is they're like a science fair experiment that someone decided tastes good. Like, think about it. How did someone invent French fries? You know what I mean? Like, how do they invent that? Or, there's other items too that have a lot of trans fats in them. And stay away from those. Amino acids are something to really add in here. There are a total of 20 amino acids. Our body makes 11 of them naturally. The remaining 9 are called essential amino acids, and we get them from the food we eat. Very important we do. All right, protein. This is also a source of energy. It aids with growth and repair of the body tissue, as we kind of talked about last week with muscles a little bit. Protein chains are made up of the amino acids. Amino acids are small units that bound together chemically to form proteins. Again, your body can make 11. 9 of them we get from the food we eat. There's 2 ways we get our proteins. We get them from animals and plants. Animals are generally considered more complete because they contain all 9 essential amino acids. Plant proteins are often incomplete because they do not contain all 9 amino acids. But if you eat a combination, it's better for you. Now, I'm not going to talk bad about the people that are vegan because I don't think that's necessarily bad. So, for example, my protein I eat is pea protein, pea-based protein, and I think there's a lot of benefits from it. But it's just where are you going to get your other essential amino acids that are building blocks of protein is kind of the question. With this being said, too, I will say a lot of people in America, especially in American culture, overeat meat. We are definitely a meat-eating society as a whole, and that's definitely changed in the last 10 years with a lot of vegan type items coming out. Like I like to consider myself a flexitarian. Okay, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a pescatarian. I'm a flexitarian. Like I try to stay away from meats as a whole in some ways, but I do eat my meats as in the forms of chicken or white meats. I kind of try to stay away from red meats as much as possible. Vitamins, okay, these do not provide energy. They assist with chemical reaction in the body. They can be classified in 2 ways, as water soluble and fat soluble. Fat soluble can be stored in the body, and water soluble cannot be stored in the body. You digest them out. Water soluble are generally vitamin C and B group vitamins, and fat soluble are A, D, E, and K. If you look at A, D, E, and K, examples of these are right here, and you can look at this if you want to. And water soluble vitamins, there's examples right here of water soluble vitamins that you get from different types of foods. Minerals, again, these do not provide energy. They have a wide variety of function in the body. They occur naturally in rock and soil, inorganic. Some like calcium, we need to make sure we get enough of. Calcium is one that's oversimplified as far as milk. People often only think about milk. Others like sodium, most people get too much, and we need to be sure to limit the amount of sodium we get. So it's just understanding your minerals in your body. And this is really hard to analyze until you get really good at understanding what's going on in your body. Ones that are needed in large quantities are these minerals. And ones that you don't need in large are kind of these ones. You notice some cultural diets, like for example, as far as Latino culture, they generally have a lot of zinc in their foods. So those have kind of, been that, but there's so many factors here that I'm not going to get too in detail with this. All right, water. Water does not provide energy. We know the importance of water. We talked about it a little bit yesterday or last week. It is essential for the life process. 65% of the body is water. I've heard many people say 70. I've heard 60. I've heard all these numbers. We just know a lot of portion of the body is made up of water. Most people do not drink enough. And how much we need, I know a lot of people talk about like how much we need. So I found this little chart. And I think this is kind of funny because I say up here 65% of the body is made of water. And this right here says 72.8% of the body is made of water. So I don't think no one really knows. And I don't know how you can really analyze it. So I look at me that I weigh about 190 pounds. So I'll probably need 95 ounces of water a day. So, it looks like about 5.5 cups of 16.9 ounces of water. Okay. Of those, talked the other day about 8 to 10 cups of 8 ounces of water. Okay. That's a good general rule too. Just make sure you're drinking your water. I know they make those cool little jugs now that show like little markers on the way that talk to you as you go, which are pretty cool. I just don't want to carry around that big of a jug all day. Try getting most of your water in the form of plain water, whole fruits and vegetables. Guys, don't be confused by juices, other stuff for that. If you're an athlete and after a sporting event, like during a sporting event, you want Gatorade, the best thing to do is go 50 water and Gatorade, either with sipping one of each. What I used to like to do is buy a full Gatorade and get another empty Gatorade bottle and put half in there and then fill the rest up with water to dilute it a little bit. That's going to be good too. Electrolytes are good for you, but in general, the rule is they say 5 hours or more And it also depends on the sport and amount of your output. Oh, nutrition analogy. Okay, this is an analogy I like to use all the time. Okay, I like to think about it with money. Okay, so say you got $2,000 a week. Okay, say we got $2,000 a week. And let's say we had a monthly budget of all of these items. Like we have to pay our mortgage and rent, we have to pay our utilities, water, electricity, sewer, garbage if you had it. We have to pay to travel, whether it's gas for our car, taking the bus, food, phone, clothing are in there. And let's say we have left over $267. Okay. So this basically means, if my math's right, we spend like $1,733 and we have $267 left over. So in our natural food, we have 2,000 calories a day we're allowed to eat based on our metabolism and a value there. And we ate our food and we have 267 left over. That's our fun money. Okay, that's what we can use for whatever we want. So in other words, as we're talking about a food analogy, that's what we get to go to In-N-Out with and get that 267 calories. That's what we get to have dessert with. That's our fun money based on your goals and all that stuff. Now, if you waste your money on fun things and run out before the necessities are paid for, you have three options. So in other words, if you go and you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day, and I'm using that as a general analogy, everybody's different. We'll talk about that in a second. And you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you go out on 2 meals and you already eat 2,500 calories a day. You've ran out of your fun money. So you got to do a couple things. You either got to stop spending money. Okay. So that means stop eating for the day. Okay. You got to buy on credit to get what you need. In other words, you got to try to burn that off some other time whenever you do it. Or you can just continue eating and not really care. Those are your choices, but those align with your goals too, based on what it is. So what I did is I did this. So if your body's budget is based on carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vitamins, okay, and I usually generally do the top three. I do the macronutrients because the micronutrients are so hard to analyze. And you eat this many calories and you have 267 left over. Okay. And let's say you don't do that. You overeat. You have a choice to stop eating. Okay. You have a chance to buy on credit, to get what you need, or you have a chance to continue to whatever you want. And the bottom two, if you do those two, they're not good. But at the top one, you have malnourished. So you got to make sure you're getting your food intake from the food you need first before you spend your fun money. That's the whole point of this. Okay. And hopefully that kind of strikes home with some of you. So like, for example, if you eat breakfast and you eat 4 bowls of Fruity Pebbles, granted, love Fruity Pebbles, love them, but the nutritional value is probably not the best, okay? I know. If any of your parents own Fruity Pebbles, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt their business. It's supposed to be funny, laugh, Okay, moving on. All right, dietary guidelines. You guys have seen this. The food pyramid did change in 2005, okay? They kind of tipped it on its side and did it that way rather than this whole, you get these and then you work your way up to all of it. There is choosemyplate.gov, which is a good website to go to if you want to know a little bit more about nutrition. So now we got to assess our eating behaviors based on this. And there's many ways why we have eating behaviors. What motivates us to eat? Okay, and there's different things that motivate us to eat. One is hunger. Another one might be appetite. As far as like you might not have an appetite and might not eat. Another one might be culture or social meaning of food. In other words, some of you guys that celebrate Ramadan, you might go through fasting periods, stuff like that. Some of your cultures might have a family dinner every night. Social meaning of food might be you might get together with friends. You might get together at In-N-Out or whatever it is. Habits or customs. If you have a habit that you eat this every day, or you have a custom that you eat a Pop-Tart every single day before you go to school. Emotional comfort. Some of you might eat when you're stressed. Some of you might eat with convenience, whatever's in the cupboard, whatever's easy for you. Like the Panera's on the way to school. I could stop there easy and get food. And some of you might fall for advertising. You might see that Insta-influencer on Instagram that tells you, you need to eat this food because they're getting paid for it, or these bars, and you might get those. Nutritional value, that's kind of how I try to eat. And social interactions, which kind of goes along with social as well. The Coach Joe food rules. Things to pay attention to start a good diet. I came up with these all on my own and help from others. What should I eat? This is the food rules. Number 1, eat food. Know what you're eating. If it's a science experiment, it's not food. How was a Pop-Tart invented? How was a Crustable invented? It was a science experiment. Someone did all this stuff and they're all, that tastes good. It's a science experiment. Now, if you look at Pop-Tarts and you open up a Pop-Tart and you see how all that natural fruit stays together, I've never seen fruit stay together like that. So obviously it's a science experiment. Okay. Next one is don't do anything your great grandmother wouldn't recognize as food. Okay. And some of you might have the privilege of knowing your great grandmother. Think about them, what they had back then. We're talking 2 generations ago. So we're talking about like in the 1950s. Okay. Think about what they had for food back then. That was all more natural food. They didn't have these big facilities, making their food. Avoid marketing food products with the words light, low fat, non-fat, high fiber, good for diet. There's all kinds of marketing labels that go on food. They're trying to sell them. Now, they might be correct sometimes, but the bottom line is they're trying to sell them. Eat on a schedule. Eat at the same times every day. I eat on a schedule. This is my breakfast, one of them, okay? And then what happens is after this class, I have my hummus and pita bread. And then after my 3rd period class, I have my lunch. And then after my 4th period class, I have like an hour and I eat like at 3:30 or 4. And then I have my dinner. I eat on the same schedule I try to every day. Weekends and Fridays get a little weird, but generally for 60-70% of my week, it's the same schedule. Shop the outside aisles of the supermarket. Stay out of the middle aisles. Next time you go to the supermarket, look at that. Look what's on the outside aisles. Okay, it's all the produce. It's the milk. It's the breads. It's the Whole Foods. In the middle, that's where you got the cookies. You got the Pop-Tarts. You have all the seasonal items. Okay, shop the outside aisles only of the supermarket. Eat foods that will eventually go rot or go bad. Okay, and this might depend on your ability to. But if it has a high shelf life, generally it has a lot of stuff in it which keeps it good from going bad. Stop eating before you're full. Don't overeat. Okay. Now I know some cultures you need to finish everything on your plate. I know if I ever go to someone's house for dinner, I was taught it's rude not to finish your plate. So try not to get as much on plate. Don't overeat. Only eat what you need. Only eat when you're hungry, not when you're bored. I understand right now with COVID and being at home a lot, it's a lot harder, but don't eat when you're bored, only when you're hungry. Eat slowly and drink water while you eat. I'm a big fan of this. Okay. So for every bite, try to drink a big thing of water and eat slowly. Make sure you chew all your food. Don't engulf your food. Don't have a hot dog eating contest. Probably not healthy for you. And look at food as a necessity item, not a comfort item. Okay, look at it as necessity. Try to view it as necessity, not comfort. This week we're going to analyze what we're eating. Okay, you're going to do a food diary log. Okay, you're going to learn how to read food labels. And you're going to learn how to do portion sizes with your macros. Okay, that's going to be goal calories. I'll show you on the chart on the top. It says goal calories. Use the chart provided to figure out what your goal calories are. Okay, that's going to come in a minute. I showed you the food diary log. Now, nutrition labels. This is a pretty bad thing, but on a nutrition labels, okay, you first have your serving size up here. That's how many of each of these are down here. Okay. Next, you have your calories. A lot of times, calories is the total amount of calories in there. Sometimes it's not based on serving. So sometimes it might be 2 of these, which equal that. The nutrients are all. The percent daily value. Okay, this is based on an average. Okay, the percentages. So don't worry about the percentages as much as the grams in here. Nutrients. We're not going to worry about nutrients, but just really keep an eye on your sugars. It's very important to understand your sugars, okay? And what you should see is in this, between your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins, that should equal right around these calories. So, for example, we know it's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. We know it's 4 calories per gram of protein. And we know it's 9 per grams of fat. Might be off a little bit. There are some factors with the vitamins that come in that affect that a little bit. Now, how many calories should you eat? Now, this is a very, very basic chart, okay? And I made this chart, okay? So what you do is you take your body weight, but first you analyze what's your fitness level. How many times a week do you work out? So, for example, me, my goal is to gain weight right now. I want to gain about 10 pounds of muscle. So what I would do is I would take my body weight, and I'm very active, and I'm going to multiply it by 22. Okay, so if I weigh 190 pounds and I'll multiply that by 22, I should eat about 4,100 calories per day. That's my goal. And these are just estimates, Okay, now if my goal was weight loss, I would take, right here, I would take 20 and multiply it by 16. Or sorry, 190 multiplied by 16, because that's my weight. And my goal calories would be 3,040. Okay, so kind of a different thing. So based on what your goals are, okay, it's one of these basic goals. Take this and be honest with yourself. Do you not move a lot? Are you decently active, or are you very active? That's going to change things for you. We good on that? Thumbs up, we're good? Okay. All right, macros. These are adjusted based on your lifestyle. Guys, the general rule is this, is the more active equals more carbs. Like if you're an athlete, you need more carbs to burn off on energy. The key is we don't want to necessarily lowball the carbs. So the carbs set what it is for the proteins and fat. I know there's a new thing coming out which says 33% of each, 33 carbs, proteins, fats. I really don't like that. I think you need to have at least 40% of your diet being carbs. I really like the 40-30-30 diet, okay, or the 40-35-25. I mean, when I say that, 40% carbs, 35% fat. All right, let me stop right here and see if there's any questions. Did you guys learn anything from this? Hopefully I didn't go too fast. I don't want to bore you guys, okay, but hopefully you guys kind of learned stuff. Okay, we're going to go back to our nutrition label sheet real quick here. So if I go back to my food diary sheet, okay, and I look kind of what I did, okay, here, and I punch in all my stuff here, I can kind of get an idea of what it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this, okay? So I know there's, if these aren't totally accurate, okay, I know there's different things in here. So if I went 4 times 3, because 4 grams, 1 gram protein equals 4 calories, I would have 12 here. Okay, now let's say I did carbs, I did 4 here, that'd be 45. And let's say I did 9 here, that'd be 27. So 27 plus 45, I'll punch in my calculator. I'm doing this really quick. Is everyone good how I got those numbers? Okay. And then 4 calories per gram is 12. So my breakfast based on this was 84 calories. Okay, and that's going to add up for you. Okay, and remember I set my goal up here was, I had 190 times 22. My goal was 4,180 calories. So this little chart's cool because it says how many calories I have remaining for the day. Kind of like that thing. Okay, and let's say my banana was, I don't know, let's say it was 2, and then it was 4. And I know a banana is generally 100 grams. Actually, let's do this, guys. I'm going to go to my MyFitnessPal app, okay, because I love this app, guys, and if you want to download it, my screen. I'm not going to make you download it because I've already had to download a couple of apps. But if you can see me, when you come on it, does anybody have the MyFitnessPal app right now? So when you come on it, it looks like this. But when you go to load it, it looks like that little person jumping. Okay. So on MyFitnessPal app, it says your goal calorie remaining. So I can look up an item. So if I push the plus sign on it, okay, well, I'm going to do banana just to kind of give you guys an idea. I go to food and I'm breakfast and I look up a banana. It tells me exactly what is in there. So let's see if this will focus. Can you guys kind of see that? So what it tells me in a banana, and I can punch it all in here, it tells me a banana has approximately 1 gram of protein. It has 25.5 grams of carbohydrates. It has 0.5 grams of fat. And it doesn't tell you my sugar, so I'm gonna keep that out. And it's approximately 100 calories. Okay. Now, if I want to do that for my oatmeal, just to kind of show you guys, oatmeal, and it has 1 cup in here already. I know it has 54 grams of carbohydrates, 6 grams of fat, 10 grams of protein, and it's 300 calories. Okay, and then if I go to my strawberries, and I'm punching this all into my app, and it says my serving size, I'm changing it because I had 3 berries. Okay, so right now it's set, and I'm going to go number of servings. I'm going to put it up to 3. So now I know for proteins, it's 0 grams of protein. I know it's 1.5 grams of carbs, and I know 0 grams of fat, and I know the total is 6 calories. So I've already had 406 calories today, okay? And my goal is going to be, I have a lot more calories to go. But I'm just going to fill this out each day. Turn in. Any questions on that? No, we kind of good with that? All right, good. Okay, so the whole point this week, guys, isn't that I want you to go out and change your whole diet. That's not the point. What I want you to do is just get an idea of what you're eating and then start analyzing on your own. Am I undereating? Am I overeating? I am a big fan that based on your goals or whatever, or how you want to be, 50% of it is diet. I really think 50% of it is diet. Like I had on my PowerPoint, I really think 50% is your diet level. I think your work ethic and your program design as far as lifting and stuff is 25%. I think your genetics and natural ability is 15%. And I think there's other factors that take 10% of it. Okay. Now that might be why some people, only reach 50% of their goals because they don't worry about their diet. But even just eating, you might get 20% out of that. Okay. So I think that's very good. Are there any questions for me? Okay, did I go too fast? No? Okay, good. Because my goal is not to have you just, so that you're kind of going to have to guess, Chase. That's a great question. I'm all about home-cooked meals. You asked home-cooked meals, how do we kind of keep track of them? So what you want to do is kind of look what's in the home-cooked meal and get an idea by looking it up what the calories are. You might be a little off, but you're just still getting an idea. Now, if you were a competitive bodybuilder, which I know Chase can be if he really wants to be. So if you're a competitive bodybuilder, you're really going to know what you put in. But let's say your parent makes raviolis. Ask them what's in the raviolis, so you could look that up and do it. Okay, so kind of have an idea because I want you just to understand exactly what you put in your body. All right? Any questions on that? No? We're good to go? Okay, I recorded this lesson, guys, so it'll be up for you if you need to watch it again on all this stuff. Hopefully you really take this seriously. And guys, keep in mind, my biggest thing on this is